computer. And my name is Uri. I was born in Israel. I live in Italy. My feet touch the ground here in Italy near Pisa in a small village. And yeah, I'm glad to be part of this global community of Dragon Dreaming Confestival and to share the story and the vision of BAMA and life maps today with you. And yeah, I thought we can start maybe actually doing some story sharing, check in with the story sharing, if you're okay with that. And our story is not us, is what we tell, yeah. But the story that we tell changes every time about who we are. That's something I learned in my life, also through Dragon Dreaming, through meeting John. And he was saying, you're not your story, you are the storyteller. So we start by being the storytellers of who we are and who we are today, what brings us here today to this meeting. And I want to invite Philip, who just joined our team, to start us with your story, and then pass it to someone else. So who you are, Philip, and what brings you here today.
Hi guys, I hope I'm still in a gym because we organize the social activities for people. So I'm Philip Bobbin and I work with education, development. I live in Spain nowadays. I come from Russia originally, but I have lived my life mostly in Finland and have been working on digital internship development with Finnish institutions. And now online education expert with university about game development, first aid to rural areas. So basically all the topics we are working for are social entrepreneurship in some way or another. And we got to connected with Deborah through my friend Ali Mihan, who is a community gatherer here for a women association of 10,000 entrepreneurs. So we met with Deborah and we saw that we have mutual values, we have common goals to develop the society to it needs. And later Deborah shared me that she has been working for a long time with Uri and that I'm like they really clicked together. So she introduced me to Uri and now I'm like we have been touching this delicate subject, how to integrate technology with nature and well-being, and to understand how us people would be able to connect without pressure and without negative kind of adaptation, to be happy to use technology for our benefits and to understand that without connection to natural things around us, we will be limited to understand the living itself. So that's I think the thing is guiding our process at the moment, and by working closely with technology like NFTs, blockchains in my life, I'm trying to combine my understanding, my community development skills and kind of something which I vision for digital communities in the future. We're trying to combine all of us for our core understanding and also our kind of our learnings together to create something new. I hope that's enough for now.
Yeah, thank you, Philip. Who do you want to pass the word to?
I think it's natural to pass to Deborah.
Okay, thank you, Philip. Yes, well, I'm Deborah. I'm from Argentina, but now I'm living in Spain, very close to Philip. Well, not really close now, but I don't know, more or less. I think that you move and now we are closer, right? But I live in Fuengirola. It's a very small city in Malaga, the south of Spain. And well, I met Uri through Social Persons in Theater. I just say it because I've read that, Naveen, you are stepping into the world of SPT, and then I would love to hear how and who and when. I know that I have a person that is in Zurich, I think, and she's very into SPT, so maybe I can connect you with her. And we met in the community before, or no, during the lockdown, I think. And we started to collaborate, and from there we've been doing a lot of things together. We never met in person yet, but it's like almost, yeah, for me it's like there is no need almost like to do that. And I think that it's a very great point for our project that is very connected to what we intend to do, and how is the connection and nature and technology and community and others. I think that we experienced several points at that during the lockdown and after that in all the things that we have been collaborating. I work in organizational and social development. I've been working a lot in different projects. I have one very important project here in Spain with teenagers that it's called Mindgen, where I create a space to facilitate social persons in theater, mindfulness, social emotional skills for teenagers between 13 and 17 years old. And it has a great, big and deep impact in teenagers. And I work in different projects. I just created my own association here in Spain. And I just wrote my first Erasmus project that I sent it out yesterday, 23 pages. And I'm offering a training course for 6 associations in Europe that is called The Power of Community Building. So I'm offering part of what I'm doing with Mindgen to youth workers, educators, and parents that they would love to have some embodiment and mindfulness tools to go back to their countries and have different tools. I'm humbly offering what I know and what I believe, and then maybe it might be useful for others. And yes, I met Philip also through our friend Ali. I'm facilitating stack practice, Philip, this Friday for the community of Ali in person for a session of that women. So I will be delivering SPT for this group of women that they do networking here in Spain. And well, I think that more or less that's enough. So I'll pass it to Naveen.
Yeah, thanks, Deborah. Thanks, Philip. Yeah, Naveen from Zurich. I've been here the last 13 years, originally from Kerala in India. And I'm here because I'm curious. I'm very new to Dragon Dreaming, always heard a lot about it, but never managed to, attend a training or a course, but I find that it's an important tool. And yeah, I have a background in like research and teaching at the university here in Zurich, more in the technology space, robotics, but connecting to what perhaps like Philip mentioned a couple of years ago, I had a startup where the goal was to develop technology that takes people off the screen, and have a non-visual way of interacting with their smartphones through voice, which is actually, screen-free. So we developed an app that actually, transcribes your ideas and organizes your mind map, a mindscape in a beautiful visual way. It's called Cocoon Weaver. So kind of like decreasing screen time. And I don't know, I love the project idea. It's new of BAMA Maps to bring people more into connection with nature through technology. So I'm very curious to hear what it is. And I am back from 2 retreats, actually, one in Italy. It was about being nature, how to be a stone, how to be a river. So, really like being elements of nature and experiencing time that way and processes that way. And also just 2 weeks ago, being introduced to social presencing theater and theater of the oppressed. And I'm so excited by both these things that I'm like, whoa, mind blown. Like getting back into the body and exploring group dynamics and interrelational things through the embodied practices. So I'm just like very excited to be here and curious to know about BAMA maps and what you guys are doing. Yeah, thanks. Svetlana? Yeah.
Hi, thank you. Well, I'm really glad to be here and already hear wonderful stories. I am Svetlana, and I right now live in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is fairly new for me because I've lived most of my life in Brooklyn, New York, before I moved here. And before that, I lived from Moldova, so that's where I grew up, which is a tiny country next to Ukraine. I feel like I know everybody knows about Ukraine now, but maybe not about Moldova yet. So, well, I'm here because I heard about Yuri, heard a lot about your work, and actually I've done a few of your exercises or games with my friends because I'm part of the Dragon Dreaming team in New York. Been really together for 3 years, which really changed my life. And my teammates, Marianne and Jill, that were part of your workshops. I'm sorry I missed them. But through them, I learned about your work, and I find it really amazing. Really resonates with me a lot. And yeah, and I'm also like, it just worked out time-wise because today we also, like, our team, we're doing presentation right after like this session. We have a play shop with Marianne and my Play Work Learn team, where we just offer people to play on online. So it's also interesting for me to hear about technology and real, what I call real engagement, which I feel that definitely includes nature. So, but sometimes I feel like oftentimes people, when they talk about going back to nature, somehow they forget that humans also nature. So yeah, and so then the next workshop will be about celebrating our 3 years together, Dragon Dreaming. So I was really glad that I have time to be here because I wanted to connect more and hear more about your work, Yuri. And it sounds like you're kind of connected too. And the work that I'm doing right now in Charlotte, I'm a part of Agile Learning Center community, Mosaic. That's a type of self-directed learning center, primarily for children, but it's also like a community for adults. And so most of my life I've been doing work with children, and it's also a community. So this year I'm bringing more Dragon Dreaming there and community building. So it's interesting for me to hear about like also all of your experiences. And I feel like, because sometimes I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel kind of a little bit alone in doing this kind of work, which a lot of people like don't understand still, like community building and how to be a stone, like how to, to work with storytelling and like all these different ways addressing complicated issues. Like even in my community, which I consider alternative, recently we're right now dealing with some racial things, and I offered to do it in a storytelling way, and people are shocked. They don't know like how can you like change something just through telling stories. So it's very nurturing for me to be here with you, knowing that we're doing the same work. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Svetlana. And yeah, I can share a little bit of my story, which I hear in many ways in your story. As I shared before, I was born in Israel, in a small village, and I think something has happened in my life, in my story, that was actually experienced as a brokenness, and it was following my army service. And my experience in the army and losing friends and seeing also the distraction that I was part of. I was in the second Intifada in Gaza. I was in a tunnel team. Our job was to go underground and find and explode tunnels. And I coming out from that experience, I felt very lost in many ways. Lost. I felt lost in my body, that I didn't recognize in my dreams, in my story. The story that I was told, the story that I was living was not matching. And thankfully I found a lot of interesting people and methods found me in this process of, and actually Theater of the Oppressed was one of the first one that I was studying in university in Jerusalem, and came across the book of Augusto Boal, which was really rocking my world at that time in a good way. And then a lot of things happened since. I also met Dragon Dreaming indirectly, and that has become an important part and social presence in theater a little bit after that. And I consider all of those three like main ingredients in my facilitation. I also refer to others, but that's are the main pathways for me. Yeah, I came into this idea of the technology and the app also in a weird way. I was researching Dragon Dreaming and games with the idea of building a game that everyone in the, even children can. Now my family came in the door. So that, yeah, it was a game, a board game, and a lot of things happened in that research, and it's still ongoing. At some point, it took me into blockchain and technology and applications, and right now, it's putting me on the verge of starting a startup around reconnecting the world and creating apps for reconnecting with nature and yourself and society. And it's still kind of in the beginning, and I feel we are kind of still, in Dragon Dreaming terms, we are still kind of somewhere between the dreaming and the planning in many ways, although there is already prototyping going on. So, and today I wanted to share a little bit about the prototype that we have going on, basically, soon. And I will have some time for that. But I felt like, I feel like, I wanted to also to connect with the vision, with the dream first. And thinking that, we all enter to the dream from different doors. And the dream, or as I understand the dream is the earth speaking through us, through our heart. Is the dream, is the dreaming is. And I thought we can do a round of dreaming. And so even before you know anything about the app, and maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but I also will dream as if I don't know. So from that place, try to envision what can BAMA or life maps be, or what's your dream for, what's your vision or your dream for this BAMA maps, life maps. And I want to invite Deborah to start us because she was a dream partner with this for quite a while. And yeah, in our heart keeper.
Yes, thank you, Uri. Well, I think, I have sometimes when I talk to people that they have great ideas or shift in their life, I love to know where was the small moment, the small seed when everything started. Because there is, and I like to know that because everything starts with a very small seed. Then maybe it's a big dream, but it's a very small seed. You don't have to have like a big thing that as a starter, as a shift. And for me, just first saying how I started my dreaming, that is that because I met Uri and we did together a lot of things, and he's a big dreamer. And I learned a lot about his dreaming because I wasn't that dreamer before. So he contagious me a lot about dreaming. So when he offered me to be part of this dream, I say yes, because he was the dreamer. And I know that I was like, so the small seed for me was just supporting my friend, creating this community with him and starting from there. And then we're starting to envision and to dream together a little more about this. And if part of the dream is like, I don't know, we talk about the problems a lot. Several times we were in meetings just discussing what is the problem, what are we intending to solve with this. And I think that part of what we try to solve with dream is to get back to the basic goodness of human beings with nature. And what Svetlana said about that we are nature. We know that we are nature and we function as the nature. We are not done to be sit at the screen 20 hours. We know that we are not done to be laying down, sitting, or not sleeping enough, but we still don't do what we need to do because we are disconnected of our nature, what is good for us, what is the basic goodness for us. And because of that, also, we are disconnected from the other nature, that is the other human beings. So the problem starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So part of the dream is through technology. That is a very great tool to make us closer, even if we are in 5 different countries, and even if our countries where we were born are also different from where we live right now. And we keep in touch with our families in a long distance through technology, and we still create community, and we are keepers with our families of technology. So how can we connect? How can we do this heartbeat with nature and others through this app? So that's, I don't know if it's that clear, but that's the dream behind that.
So yeah, just to like, so if you have to dream and just like how we are looking in from the future, 12 months, 12 years from now, what do you see? What have we realized?
I see the first word that came to me is accountability in the work, but it's not accountability in terms of doing this, the task, going to work. Accountability in what we need us to be good, to be sustainable, ethic, and more sustainable communities and life. I dream that we can untap the power of community building.
Yeah. Accountability and community building and tapping. Thank you. Who do you pass to, Deborah? We can keep the same circle, or you can just pass the talking piece.
Svetlana.
Thank you, Deborah, for sharing more how it came to that. I love hearing that. I love this dream. I dream. I like the word life map, because what's important for me, what I dream about, is the connection. That I see that we all we're all aware about all the connections, that we're all connected, like everything is connected with each other. So there is really no separation, and including technology. And just very quickly, what came to me, one time I went on a walk with a guide and a Native American chief, and he brought me to this very sacred place for them with a vortex, and nearby they were building a golf course. And he looked around and he said to me that a lot of people really have wars, and they fight against all these people who come and change nature and bring all these things. And then he said to me, well, he believes that the problem here, that people forget that everything is nature. including the machines and all of that. And once we realize that, then we don't have to fight anymore. So that's my dream.
So again, looking from the future, what
that
you
everything, that we realize all the connection between everything in the world, that there is no separation. And then, so yeah,
and
so
we
like,
stop fighting.
yeah, stop fighting against things, and instead we just find the way to connect more. So I believe that if we become aware how connected we are, then I feel like we will be connected more, and then we don't need to fight. And I pass it to Philip.
Thank you, Svetlana. Yeah, I mean, like in my line of work, I have been working with gaps between seniors and children, adolescents, of course. The connection the seniors seem or like appreciate with the nature and feel that youngsters don't have. At the same time, youngsters have a kind of a clean feeling that they have a community which they're really connected because the topics they're talking about are not about the weather. So I have been learning a lot by understanding, like you said, that like we shouldn't be fighting, we should be kind of appreciating the balance we have. And technology is not kind of a bad thing if we understand it as a tool. And I have been like blessed to be working with children who appreciate technology and understand that previously I was maybe wrong to kind of think and in old way that technology is only bad and we should just get everybody like out of the computers. So it's not like the right thing to, it doesn't solve the puzzle. It's like just going against the wave. And another thing is like for rural areas, like I work with to develop their IT skills so they will be more sustainable, because I believe that people living in rural areas is because they don't have anything left there to work to survive. So for them to learn IT skills is essential for because pandemic has given us an option to work up like in distance, and if they have this ability, they can stay in these areas and develop them, and not to kind of lose on education or like good work opportunities and connect with others like-minded people. So for me, I really believe in like empowerment of the engagement of the people, like especially youth. I really like them to understand that the learning is a process that I don't feel that the educational system like really understands what the learning is about. It's kind of losing its grip already like for decades, not understanding that we should be thinking of personalities rather than standardized tests and kind of general questionnaires, and like just knowing like having a library in our head. So it should be more about critical thinking and teamwork and kind of appreciating, learning your values, your identity, learning what you believe, what makes you full and kind of happy. And these things I really want to pass to the new generation, because I'm like they have the energy, they have the power, which we didn't have like 20 years ago. So okay, I would pass it to Naveen. Thank you.
And just before Philip, again, just going back, like trying to get to the essence of from the future, what have we realize? What do you dream for this?
I feel like NFTs for me is a interesting technology, which could be like community pass, like a digital access point for us to be in a uh, uh, trust community where we don't have to kind of we go a bit backwards in the way that when we live together with other people, when we need to survive, we need to trust each other, and we have been like gone for a long time, uh like far far away from that connection because we have become independent, don't need no need to kind of be close with each other, no need to trust, and I think that's I hope that with technology we can really change that the power of government, religion, and other communities which are not real. I feel that we can have this anonymous power which could guide us to a better solution making process when we decide that there's climate change and 90% of us want to do something about it. We don't need to wait for the government or the companies or the religions to accept it and move forward with it. So that's why I really hopeful from the future.
Yeah, and Philip, I really heard these two powerful words you said, like empowerment through engagement.
Yeah, and I wrote, stay and develop rural communities, go back to our connection through technologies. Yeah, thank you, Philip. You passed it to Svetlana?
No, to Naveen.
Naveen, okay.
Yeah, just for me to reflect and respond, I would like to better know the process, what is expected, so I can be more clear and conscious.
Yeah. Well, right now we're doing something similar to Dream Circle in the sense that we're connecting with our dream for this project. And yes, this project is already ongoing and you just came but maybe you have your own dream for it from what you understand, and you can add it to our collective dream somehow from what you feel. So again, the question is looking from the future on this meeting and this project and thinking about the highest future potential of it. What have we realized? What would you like to have been realized through our work?
Like a future state of this project?
Yes, or future, looking from the future on the results, on the success, celebrating as if it already happened.
Wow, challenging for me, being new here and not knowing much. But what comes to my mind is a couple of years ago, I started a project called Offline Day. So it's something like the digital Sabbath, 24 hours going offline from Friday evening to Saturday evening. And then we were having a challenge, to reach people, to tell them to go offline, we have to go online. I mean, online is the place where we need to send this message. And so we were pulled with this, that we need to use technology to tell people to go offline, So that tension between using technology to asking people to disconnect from technology mindfully for 24 hours, once a month, doable, and kind of take this digital detox, got me thinking about the power of technology to really connect people back to themselves. So I can imagine a very mindful and perhaps humane design. I mean, usually technologies want to capture your attention, your money, and your time. They hijack it, right? And can we have technologies that enable our well-being, right? Yeah, I think it can. And I really like what Svetlana said about we are nature, technology is nature. And I think we can consciously design technology that it's no more negatively impacting us, but positively impacting our well-being. Yeah. Yeah, back to Yuri. Thank you.
No, I think Svetlana haven't gotten it. Oh, no, she was the second, yes. I wrote the offline day and mindful and human design. I love that, thank you. And I wrote also, we realize there is no separation, no need to fight, accountability, basic goodness, community building, to learn about the dreaming, staying. Yeah, I feel maybe.
Sorry, Yuri, I just want to add this phrase that we are all nature. When I was a part of the dream, the awareness.
can I quickly also comment, Naveen, I like that idea, like 24 hours disconnected. Also, like many people, they take photos and kind of build stories on technology. So it's also kind of an activating part for somebody to understand that, oh, how can I engage being offline? So I could write the story, I could build a picture, I could kind of build something in my mind, I can like take notes, and when I come back online, how can I present my experience? So I think that's a beautiful part for people to kind of remember how it was before, not trying to like have this perfect moment always captivated by technology, but trying to kind of use your resources which you have as a human being.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how this dream is forming, and if I can add or connect with that is, yes, that we found a way to bring back this feedback loop of well-being that seems to we have lost it, or actually technology or how we use technology has been part of how I at least myself feel that I'm a lot of time I'm actually taking away the technology is taking me away from my well-being balance, and it's partly I think a design issue. It's a design issue, and there are also economic and other factors inside that that I would not go into. But I feel that if I can dream is that we found a way to bring back this feedback loop of well-being and regenerating ourselves together with nature. And yes, we are all nature. We are Earth. That's the name of the theater project that we started some years ago and journey. Yeah, I feel to share now a little bit about where we are with the project. We did this round of story and dreaming, and yeah, I'm curious again with I want to share a little bit about how we I have 3 different pitch decks and I was thinking which one to show you, and yeah, I think I will show you not the so I have a latest one which is more for investors, and we are now applying for different accelerators, and I have something more specific to the project where we are testing, where we are creating a prototype for life maps. But I will actually use the one a little bit before that shows both the earlier version of BAMA and the connection to life maps. So I think I will just share this because it gives some context to where we are now with the prototype, and then I will share a little bit the app and invite you to play with it in the next week and share a little bit. So do you see the screen? So this is BAMA Maps, Creativity and Wisdom for Life, Reconnect the World. That's in the new one. This is some of the problems we identified with Deborah lately, that we are collectively unhappy and disconnected, and we intentionally cause harm to ourselves and others by not paying attention, that we replace intimacy and care with violence, polarizing narratives impact our self-esteem, peer trust, and social well-being. We deeply yearn for genuine connections. The pain of our disconnection is overwhelming and causing anxiety and loneliness. And the context is the world grows in complexity. The technology which helps us organize also makes us miserable, disconnecting us from our well-being resources. This is some numbers from actually pre-COVID and post-COVID, and we see poor mental health and employee burnout growing, and also well-being investment is growing as a result of that. There is understanding of that, and that's the opportunity we largely identify with BAMA Maps as that as remote work and studying became more normal, the spending more time in nature with family and friends is become necessary to balance our and our sanity and support our sanity in a fastly digitalizing virtual world. And reconnecting to Earth by spending meaningful time in nature is a proven way to feel happier and more relaxed. So the basic of our concept is, what if we employ the world's greatest well-being coach, the Earth, listening deeply to each other and our bodies in a cost-effective and scientifically assured way to improve mental health. And this is, again, some research. There is a lot of research about improvement of performance and stress level reduction towards just being time in nature, actually. This is the quadruple impact idea for our prospect is raising self-awareness, growing emotional intelligence, cultivating earth connection, and reducing carbon footprints as a result of the increased earth connection. And how it's actually work. So the idea, there's 3 parts to the concept. Is reflective practices, so reconnecting to self, nature, and others, and then group sharing, socially rewarding and motivating the practice, and then connection spaces. And this means mapping collective well-being resources together as a community. And the solutions that are connected with that has to do with cultivating our true move or authenticity by allowing ourselves to transform our inner narratives and recognizes what we truly care about, using simple tools to restore and regenerate our health, reconnect with our well-being resources, facilitating nature-led embodied practices and relational learning in nature. And so it sounds good, but how actually you plan to execute on it? It's a fair question and honest feedback. This is a little bit of map. So you see from here, this is 2019. I was mostly on my own, playing with a win-win-win game, Dragon Dreaming game, but also collaborating with different people from Dragon Dreaming world. Then in 2020, this idea of Bahir consultancy came, and research around that. And then in between that, I met Deborah and we entered the ULab 2X program, and we developed aspects of with the international group around our concept and research of that. And then Project Life, which is the project that I'm working on, that I have, my contract is ending like next month since 2020, which is a project of social and work inclusion with migrants here in Italy. And Life Maps is a prototype of BAMA maps in a way, and it's created within that that case study, let's say, of from Project Life. And so Project Life, which is a project of financed by like the FAMI, which is like Fondo Migrazione Integrazione. So it's like Asilo Migrazione Integrazione. So it's the fund that serves activities to support migrations, integration, and asylum seekers. And this particular project, LIFE, which means Lavoro, Integrazione, Formazione, Empowerment, is about individualized pathways to support autonomy and socioeconomical integration of migrants in the region, with particular reference to vulnerable individuals. This is some of our work in the project. We started in person, and then just very fast we moved online. And at least our team, we actually stayed online even for the rest of the project. And in our team, our goals were to interventions to about emergence of formal, informal, and non-formal skills with migrants, and activation of experimental paths to encourage self-enterprise and co-design of business ideas, and workshops to promote the meeting of different knowledge and cultures. We met many challenges in the way. One of them was the pandemic, and it was hard to adapt the work that we were doing in person to online. Also, when the majority of people that were a target were not using computers, they were using mobile phones. And yeah, a lot of time they didn't have the space or the connection, and there was a lot of difficulties around that. The politics, it's the issue of migration in Italy still, and it becomes worse now with the new government, is not easy to to get support with, even with the system that we were supposed to work with. And also decolonizing ourselves as mostly white male and female trainers is a part of that challenge. The engagement, it was hard to keep people connected or finding people for the programs as well and keep them motivated through the process of building a portfolio, which was one of the results in a work plan. And the follow-up and the group were very inhomogeneous. Migrants is a big label that is used for so many people or and they're very different between them. And the difficulty also to give concrete opportunities to the needs that emerge from the people we work with was also a challenge. And some of the solution we found or identified through our work and experimentation was community. So we realized the importance of cultivating a space where migrants, and again, the label migrants is very strange because I'm technically a migrant myself, but I have the European citizenship and the right color of skin, and I don't have the same experience as the people we worked with. And so, and the people we worked with were sometimes people that just arrived as asylum seekers, and sometimes were 20 or 30 years in Italy. So, and they were still stuck in the label. So the label of migrants is difficult, and the importance of community as a place where migrants can generally be seen and see their talents and gifts. The listening is something else, to realize that our capacity as facilitators to listen generatively could be transformative and highly beneficial. So just our listening could be very transformative for the other and for ourselves as well. The storytelling, we use a lot of storytelling in the work, and we realize that listening and telling stories can be essential for reconstructing the image of self and future dreams. The embodiment, we can use the embodiment in the process, and how the body and reflecting on lived experience that can provide a powerful learning and co-sensing space. And there is a lot of challenges of how to move forward, and the project is ending, but we had an opportunity to develop a prototype app with a very small budget, and that's the result. This is Life Maps, and we're testing it now, and it's a gamified co-learning experience to transform your life experience into future opportunities. Yeah, now we're actually inviting people to register for the beta testing, and I might move to another pitch for something else.
Yuri, sorry, very quickly, what does BAMA stand for?
Oh, that's a good question. So ba and ma are both words for space in Japanese, and there are many words for space in Japanese, and ma is a well, ba is a knowledge space, is a space of creation of knowledge, and ma is a silent space or in between space. It's a negative space. It's like the emptiness, or the and ba and ma are what we do. And also bama is actually a word in Hebrew which means stage, but also an elevated space. So that's some words that brought to that. And yeah, I wanted to share maybe just a little bit from our other page. So this is the team right now, and is me here in Italy, Cristiano, who is the developer and works as is a video maker and art counselor, doctor of psychology, and interested in participatory video, bioenergetics and body work, and me, that I'm interested in empowering people and communities. We have Philip and Deborah. This is the kind of founding team. This is again the more other pitch, and that's, I wanted to share that, and I wanted to share something more about the app itself and just show you how it looks like. Okay, but first I want to share this one. So this is again the problems that we found and how we got to the self-awareness. This is how it looks like, the screens. And when you will go to the beta, you will find something like this. and there is there's like I'll just zoom in. There is like the app has 4 sections. One is for reflection journeys, and there is a possibility to basically we have a dashboard in the back where you can put audio journeys or reflective practice and a PDF to each of those. And now we're playing with this idea of unlocking. So you can complete an action or a survey from the first one, and then it opens another one. So this is this reflective journeys part of the app. There is a map, which is around sharing opportunities. And for the context of the project with migrants, we're looking at mapping also different services and jobs and opportunities in the real world here. But also it could be used for mapping other proposals. Right now, I uploaded all the 74 events of the Confestival to the app. So you can explore all the Confestival events on the app, basically, and see how that map looks. Then every point, every offer has a link, follow-on link. Right now it's for the Zoom links or the registration links. There is a user directory, which has also a possibility to add your request, what you're looking for. And yeah, it's part of our design process here was connected with the offers and needs market, which is a facilitation technology. And so the offers, and this is the needs, which come from the users. And then we have like sort of like chat groups that can be created by admins, and the admins can add users. And the idea here is that as people interact, you can create, connect people with other people and create mentoring pairs or group around focus area or interest and so on. So this is just to show a little bit of an overview of the app, and just to share again the beta testing, which actually starts next week. And it serves to the life maps we are enabled to contemplate on our life stories to identify and map inner and outer resources we generally need and can sustainably offer our community and the world. And it's made for who wish to promote improved social inclusion in the region. And you get insights. And it's a 21 days journey, and with meetings every Sunday, more or less at this time that we're meeting, and opportunities or invitation to practice through the app. Through daily practices will become available once the prototyping starts. And it starts on October 9th, and we have 3 calls. And you can join the beta even if you don't join the calls. The calls are a place where we can give direct feedback and ask questions and also dig deeper. And there is a follow-on call. So I kind of ran through some of those pitches. And I will, yeah, so Svetlana said you'll be happy to be a tester. So I will put the link.
Oh, thank you. I just have to go to start my next event, but I'm very interested and I would like to connect more.
Yes, so I will put in the chat. This is the direct link to you need to download Expo, which is a platform for developers. That then following that link, you will be able to access the project, which is not yet published on the App Store. So this is the way to connect with that. And then, yeah, and it will be great if you also register, so you make sure that you get the updates for the events on this poll.
Where?
Let me just put
Yeah,
it.
okay. I'm opening all the links to have them. I'm sorry I have to rush. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, everybody. I really appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, Svetlana.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks very much. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thanks.
Yes, and yeah, we're almost done, but I don't know if you have questions or insight or input or something you feel like sharing, Naveen or anyone.
Yeah, thanks, Yuri. Yeah, I did. Thanks for sharing the story of the vision and everything that has transpired to make it come to the beta testing point. Now there's a bit more clarity what BAMA is, because I just joined this session not knowing what exactly it was and things like that. Thanks for sharing that thing on like what it means as well. I think that was maybe like missing from the pitch deck, because perhaps it's also important about space and like what is new for me is that understanding that it's a bit different from reconnecting to nature, which perhaps was the abstract of this session. And now recognizing that it's more focused on migrants, unlike you, Yuri, who has a, and integrating them to create a map for their life and stuff like that. I think it's a very truly interesting project, and Europe-wide, perhaps technology that could be very useful and funded and things like that. And my thoughts would be that is English the most appropriate language for your target audience? Would like if you're thinking about a migrant population, like their use of technology and how familiar they are. Like I'm just wondering also, like a lot of information for climate activists and things like that run on Telegram groups. Telegram is just so multi-versatile tool, not just for communication, but information dissemination and stuff like that. And then always the question is, why not a Telegram group, where, but I'm excited to see the beta testing and like offer my thoughts there and input. So, because I think it's a technology for a very important group that is usually underrepresented, marginalized, and excluded from technology being developed for them. So I think that's very super group that you're targeting.
No, I also, it's important for me to say that there is still a gap, and thank you for mentioning that, because it's an important gap between the reconnection with nature and the life maps. And I think this gap will, over time, will get closer. And I must say, the reason we developed it with life maps with this target is because it has to do with a project we're working on, to be honest. But I'm interested in that target. I'm also interested to, and I've seen working with migrants that there is an element that maybe need more research around the ability to reconnect with Earth in the new place as something that actually creates resilience. And actually in the beta testing, we're going to explore nature reconnection processes through guided collaborators, because I'm interested both in the same technology being used for young people, for people with difficulties, not necessarily the target group migrants, which is problematic for different reasons that I mentioned. But there is still a gap between life maps and BAMA that I think over time it might become more clear how this gap gets closed, or how the two. But the idea with life maps, and this is why it's called differently, is that what we're building there could be used for more purposes. And I feel also that it's important, like you say, to build technology for people that are not being that nobody thinks about, basically, when we build technology, and it's a good challenge in a way. But to be honest, like where my heart is with the Earth reconnection, and I'm trying to gap the social and work inclusion aspect and the reconnection, but I feel that there is a connection point there.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, that there is this gap, but you feel that it can be bridged through this target group, and also, yeah, like you're recognizing the need for technology. What comes to my mind is the person Ruth Cross. She's a social presencing theater facilitator. Yeah, so
Yes, she is our friend also.
okay, very good, very good. So she works with migrants as well. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, actually, her organization is very close to my house. It's 1 hour and 15 minutes from here. Yeah, and also I collaborate there with her. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Ruth traveled with me to Senegal. We organized a learning journey in Senegal, and
Oh, wow.
in
Okay.
2016, and I joined her residency during COP21 in Paris.
Oh, yeah, I heard about it. Yes, yes.
It was
Very
a
nice.
crazy time.
So where did you met Ruth?
I met her near Barcelona for one of the trainings from ULEX.
Okay, yes, Ulex. Yeah.
ULEX, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that she was there 2 weeks ago or something like this.
I was there 2 weeks ago, so yeah.
Yeah.
Short after,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll stop the recording.